So these leeches go on and lie to their children about them being rapists, murderers, and thieves. No, honey, we're like together. We're just very private about our sex life, and that's why we don't disclose the. But this is why we sound abusive on the internet, but. I was to skip to that part that we are abusive on the internet. We're just so into our sexual feelings behind the scenes. Don't, no. She's not seeking the death penalty for me. She just turned the FBI, wanting to see if they'll play with us one day sexually. I've heard that happens. They're disgusting. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate everyone that steals my vehicles. You can decapitate everyone that steals my money. You can decapitate everyone that doesn't really embarrass my money. What else? What else? My mommy died. What else? This could have been going on for a while. And to some people, she's just not any sentiment. I just think of terms of that got me out of her. He said that I ruined her body. With my birth. What else? What else? Or did I already share this? Oh, entonces he wants to make his rape baby with just be styling famous. Porque amongst little birds, he thinks that that's what's gonna stand out to people. He's a fame seeker, so gross. I do nothing. Lazy as fuck. What else? I'm born. I'm bored. They terrorize and oppose social media because supposedly due to theft in the area that I grew up in, they wore diapers until like teenage age. They killed millions of people thinking that people would mock them. To me, if they're mocked, possibly because he's a bigot or una asquerosidad, that people will mock in his face if he is just disturbing. What else could I find? Some there's good things. No, I don't. So, while there was a hot dog, 13 living life. He hates that guy because he was wearing diapers. How is it that guy's fault? How is it my fault that I can't get to that guy? Because he doesn't do it so their boyfriend that had everything from day one. They're stupid. They're stupid. I'm born. You guys, nice people said that when I post multiple times on Facebook, I'm crazy. This is why these lives are important. Just some people's like, dude, she's laughing at you. People call them asco in a Puerto Rico. They're not men. They're embarrassing. I'm bored. Supposedly they're drug addicts. They spend every anniversary with me with someone else because I don't do drugs. And I don't even remember those dates for that reason. They're stupid. I'm bored. I'm bored. What are those sauces? I have to save for spend money for the weekends. I'm gonna start. Yeah, for when those people that offer free food don't offer food. My food stamps don't get deposited until the 25th. They think that they're turning me into less than, as I say that I'm on food stamps. It's just a service. You see this as going to jail. That's why they steal my money. They're like, es que una vaga de tan food stamps. Ningún hombre se va a casar conmigo. They're stupid. Una basura, una asquerosa. What do I want from Central Market? Pizza, water, and They want to make it sound like she's a dom when she isn't. She's stupid. They're sex addicts. They're girls. Modifying people to be stupid with them. Ew. El club de Menonita y Menonita, creo que they both say they're embarrassing. Decades ago, it's like, okay, ya no te va a aceptar un friend request. No sé si I was gonna send one. Yo no vivo pensando en el hate crime that he has towards me. There shouldn't be a hate crime ever. He's stupid. Es una basura, una asquerosidad. I'm born. I'm bored. Even though the International Criminal Court exists, I'm seeking the death penalty for Benjamin Soros and his sons that raped me to steal my money and get in the way of my receivement. It's May 3rd, 2025. Um, what else? You know, can they decapitate Tiffany Ann, whatever her last name is? They're so disgusting. I just speaking with my mouth full. You can decapitate Benjamin Soros and his sons that raped me to steal my money and get in the way of my receivement. You're stupid. I'm talking the FBI, this coast, NATO, Interpol, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Justice Department in the United States, the International Criminal Court. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? My mother sadly arranged marriages with me with these leeches decades ago, and their relationship materialized for them and not for me. They stole my money to date them, then they raped me, then they brag about everyone that they took out on a date. They tried to rape me with females, they raped me with females. They got me raped by people in my own home, or he threatened to do that. He's like, si no te enciende, you don't pursue me, have sex with me. I think he had a group of like 8 males in my home with him that shouldn't have built, that I didn't agree to have built, that I asked him to sell it because I wouldn't live with him, that I'm never pursue it, and I think he had me raped by males there, hoping que entonces I would get sexually aroused to be with him that day. They're disgusting, they're stupid. Everything that they read, they want to try it, and they're like, you're less than me, you didn't have a set of grandparents while growing up, so you're it to abuse. They're stupid, they're so gross. Okay, they're afraid of grandparents. Like, for real, da menorito asqueroso. Que es like, si tuviera un abuelo vivo, de parte de la mamá de ese hombre quizá me metía una pela. They're stupid. They were in school. I know that because I was there. So they have heard about the United Nations human rights, even at family parties. They're not like that that they haven't heard what the human rights declaration is. They're stupid. They're stupid. I don't want that ever in my life. I'm bored. When I'm finished, I stay and plan to travel with fun and meet people. Ideally polyamorous and then next. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What was I up to? What was I up to? When will I head over to Central Market? Maybe I'll eat my apple later in my apartment with the breadsticks. What else? What else? I'm gonna shop H&M today. Anyways. Is that Alberto? I checked by how many. Facebook yesterday said Alberto Suarez. I don't know their age. I don't remember their birthday. They're insignificant to me. I can't tell which one is Andrew. And I don't want to learn that either. They're insignificant to me. La Lish, que lo viola y se deja violar por él. Wants to play that game. Like, we know how to count. We also can memorize the names of people that we read amongst their skills. That's what they do. They're stupid. They're stupid. Am I not listening to music? Anyways, how much would be some water maker in my bottle? Let me buy water there. So, what else? They think that they live with the Queen of England. So they're like, so can I call my spouse baby? And that's why they don't date. They're so gross. And was like, dude, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Not once he disrespected me. So they rape, waiting for Emily Post to do another manners class. They're stupid. They're stupid. So gross. Yeah, yeah, I'm just kidding. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. That's because like there's mothers rapist. So just for like 5 seconds. He expresses his gratitude decades ago that I don't see him as less than because of the way that his mother behaves. What else? 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 I'm bored. Debe ser this morning. They thought that I would cry. La Lich, el Lich que lo violó. They like, él te llevó a Taco Bell on his anniversary with me. Ay, qué lindos. They saw that in a novela or someone, people in my family were to rape them. They're like, you must not get over her. I'm gonna be your go-to girl for every anniversary. And if you don't want me, then I can introduce you to my best friend. You can take your tia too. And they're still stalking them 20 something years after I stopped talking to them. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Entonces they steal my money so I can't move on in a relationship with someone because they're like, then I'm so addicted to this pussy and this dick que se hace pasar por Arlene. And I'm underachiever, so I can't have Arlene. So if I see Arlene on the internet, be like, mwah, 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 LeBron James actually in person. Stay out there. That has I never seen. They say, oh, Marley Brown James is like, what? But there might be another basketball with me. So they would be upset to see me in a relationship with someone when they're playing mock up me with someone else. They're stupid. They're terrorists too. I've heard that they possibly tricked LeBron James into faking being me too. Just so that I would be like, pero vieron a LeBron James y que con una peluca rubia. Sometimes they find people to be stupid with, sometimes they profile people to ruin their careers. What? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm at sea though, but it's because I have a puzzle book that I want to read and I need to drink more water. Like outside of my food intake. So that my ankles don't get swollen that happened the other day. Like I've been drinking water but just with food. I'm very stressed out. Anyways, I'm upset that I renewed my lease with Villa San Cruz. What else? Sounds I have to attack their father face. Which he apologized. And he's constantly trying to corrupt my kids. What? What else? What else? What else? not even retaliation, but like it's so funny. If mine don't behave well, then yours. What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Entonces la leech steals my money porque se le acaba el negocio. If I'm dating, then they're like, okay, but then if she's dating, he's not gonna take me out on his fake anniversary with her. Porque supposedly, like, wow, like Jennifer Bonilla gave reviews on this. Okay, my husband is great in bed, at love making, and takes her on like the best dates. Who? That's not my husband. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonilla. They legally prostitutes herself, so gross. You can decapitate Benjamin Saracens, rape me and steal my money and get in the way of my saving money. They stole my money to date them decades ago and they terrorize my parents to starve me. And they're like, Arlene, well, if you want to date me, I've already lost interest in you. With so many people have been around. So you'd have to work twice as hard as anyone else. Plus, you're my second cousin. You met me like right away. And I need to give opportunity to the ladies and gents far away. That my dad is now taking me traveling everywhere. No, people don't just come here for this. So just because I'm silent doesn't mean that I'm pursuing it. Like, seriously, para eso él abre la boca. Ya me lo hubiesen mamado, güey, ya. Si eso no es lo que quería. Recreational. For real. For real. What else? What else? They're embarrassing. So gross. So gross. So just because I'm silent doesn't mean that I'm pursuing it one day. It daydreams of the dates that it's gonna take me. It used to people say, "Ay, este menorito supuestamente lo tenían por las noches petting him." I'm gonna pretend that you're early right now, okay? Dicen que él se entusiasmó en su mente masturbándose de cuántas veces me iba a llevar a bailar. Que he wants to kill me because he couldn't make it happen. What? I don't want that ever near me. It's so disgusting. What else? What else? I wish it well. It survives. What else? I don't want that near me. Oh, I'm very much good, but I never. He's so insignificant that I never tell my parents that I've seen them around. Like, oh, there's Majessa. Never mind. What else? No, come back. Come on. What else? To concentrate. No, it's hi, hello, nice to see you. Compatibility only. That needs to. That is fun to read. And just for fun perspective, just to see what was out there, what could be out there. Just one meatloaf. I would have cooked rice and beans and potatoes for Jake. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Spanish. What else? On board? Highly educated, very well mannered, and I have $0. Victim of a hate crime. They make it obvious too. They're that stupid. They're like if they kept her like just a target level and she pretends to like it, then she might go unnoticed. But not like this, me screaming. He's killed millions of people trying to rape me, trying to kill me, trying to make his mother the center of the universe. Oh, anyways, I just which version is this? What? They're stupid. They're stupid. They think that people are gonna mock me as if I'm truly like a 4-year-old that has never touched technology and looks stupid. I heard everything. Ev- We're not a business. And then there's online shopping. And then there's Rust. Okay, I didn't save that blog post. What else? Where's that? There. I'm bored. I'm bored. There might be like one trick that I could learn from this book, though. So it wouldn't be a bad read. Oh, I took the pictures with. I know how to take a selfie. And behind the scenes, he mocks me or has like a whole group of people that he will say to them, pero dale, búrlate de ella, de que she didn't know how to use a phone or doesn't know how to use a phone. People are like, dude, she's holding an iPhone in a post in 2019 just because she's in a homeless shelter. I can't. What? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Starting one, sorry. I had to take my Samsung's phone to AT&T on a day that it did like an iOS. Is it iOS? It's operating system. Saying that it needed to be, that it was slow. My phone was just get to the screensaver screen but not beyond that. And now I know how to do that. How do I usually read the instructions when I get a phone? Like the basics, like how to restart it if it does get like not just shut down, but the system internally. And this time around, I was so stressed that I didn't read it. Anyways, what else? 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 I'm born. This is in 2020. After I spoke about my routine with Jenny Kimani, Jenny Kimani dancing with me in my living room in my home. What else? What else? What else? Self care. Okay, I was raped by Michael Norman in 2016. I didn't want to bring that up publicly. I don't feel the need to. Jorge Aviles raped me in 2016, so I was even smelling like shit. And I'm sure like a lot of people all over the planet know that. Porque they mock polyamory. I consider myself polyamorous. They mock polyamory like that's anti like Iglesia Católica in Sama too. In Carver Library. They're stupid. They are porn addicts. So they label people based on one trait. And then they're bigots. They're stupid. They're stupid, stupid, very dangerous, very stupid. So, what was I gonna say about this? Oh, So they had people around me. This leech worked at Nordstrom. She's trying to rape me or trying to get my pictures to send to them, to sell to them. Possibly this leech raped me in 2017. So I was going through a really tough time. However, I didn't let Jadens and Kaylani's teeth decay. Kaylani had like one tiny little cavity in 2017 that I cried. Hey, but I didn't make a big deal out of it because I spent 2017 working at Nordstrom, trying to sustain myself because I'm a victim of theft, domestic violence, abuse, genocide, a hate crime. So I quit my job after working at Nordstrom because everyone there, Christy Martinez, so gross. Sarah Francis ill, trying to rape me. Sarah Francis, decades ago in my own home, had them take me there to mock me that she has sex with them, and I don't. They're stupid. They're so gross. And then, as of adult age, they show that they know when. They're stupid. I'm sticking to that penalty for all these people. They're stupid. So, anyways, I didn't let that affect me. I continued shopping in Nordstrom after I quit there. I even brought back some returns. Work, I'm like, now that I'm not working there and leaving my apartment as much, I don't need these pieces specifically. So I brought back a few pieces and returned those. Though those are pieces that I would have continued using, but I just didn't see myself wearing them in the next few days. That's like usually how I was shopping for myself, like right before work, getting a brand new outfit at H&M, and then heading upstairs to Nordstrom to work. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate everyone that has caused my poverty. You can decapitate everyone that has caused my anxiety. They think I desire them or they wish I desire them, so they think that I acquired their penis pictures or their vagina pictures. They falsely show them behind myself, behind. These leeches are so gross, they may be impersonating me behind the scenes and showing their vaginas to me. They're like, well, if she doesn't want to see it, I'll just send it to her myself from a fake profile picture. They're obsessed with me. Oh, I downplay how creepy this is. Like, this is creepy. Choosing a ringtone, ya no sé mañana. I had it for a while. What else? 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 What did I see here that I had not seen? I think. Oh, that's cute. There's one by BTS. What else? What else? Where did I see that one can add ringtones from Spotify? And head over to Spotify and then add a song as a ringtone. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Anyways, I miss my iPhone. I want one. ASAP. So this whole hate crime towards them failed in that I haven't killed myself. I've been through a long story for more than 5 years publicly. Without any money, a lot of people want to know who are the aggressors, who do we need to look out for, or do we just hi hello them and they behave well? I don't want any feedback on that. This isn't people that I want in my life ever. What else? 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 Lord, my hair looks so good at this time. Air left. Yeah, but there's air. Oh, that happens. You can decapitate Richie Hill that raped me in 2023. And then Carolina Chavez wants to tell me how they stay in my homes without my permission, and he fakes her being a wife. With the news that they steal from me because they're like, I want to see that marriage. That guys, I'll invite you over for dinner. Carolina fake being Arlene. No, it's not she. So gross. Yeah. I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, they thought I was gonna show the people from Homeland Security pantyless. They're sex addicts, so gross. Ew. Their panties first. Ew. Their mattress sniffers so gross. Ew. So they possibly thought that I would be like, because some of my siblings may have pictures that they've extorted from people, and then making me be like the bad guy that exposes. Been there, and the police like that's how they behave. They want to mock LA without having been to LA. Have you not been to the Westfield Galleria? The Cheesecake Factory In and Out Burger, the line is just as long in LA as it is in San Antonio most days. What else? What else? What else? They're stupid. They've killed millions of people in the past, what, 40 something years, mocking LA without having been in LA. Porque even if you see that strolling through Beverly Hills Boulevard, that's with my money that he steals from me. So I no ha llegado ni a LA. What else? What else? What else? So these people may have been nervous. They made like saw our pictures. Because I'm not one to excuse me, but they're like Sally if she posted pictures of herself in lingerie. It may be like she's really confident, or around this time next year, if it pops up in memories, beware of Gordy, we didn't fire you. That her siblings ill, they raped you. They're like, oh, show me them titties, and they're like, I'm gonna send this to my sibling and have her post it as you being a professional study at Homeland Security that I can rape. These are my second cousins. They mocked the FBI because they killed Gloria Nilsson because they hate polyamory. Ew, 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 ew. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. They want to go around with me saying, do you know the Homeland Security people get raped? Yeah, she works at the Department of Homeland Security. She is a terrorist. She killed thousands of people on 9/11. 2001 trying to kill me. So I want to land on Oliver Stick. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. And she thinks it's laughable that she can get a job at the Department of Homeland Security. Border Patrol because now she's like polyamorous around all those men and like envidia que ella es secretaria. I don't even like the way that she dresses. She's so stupid. Pero I don't even have to like it. Pero she thinks he's giving people the fantasy of her being a secretary there, surrounded by so many patrol officers. I don't find any of them attractive. I've never seen one. Maybe uno bien rara la vez, very unlikely. Pero como esto es una sex addict, que ella se acuesta quizá con todo. Con todo lo que puede, uy, esto se mete en la vida de los demás. She's like, fulano, la esposa está casada con él, and I had to file his human resources papers of health insurance for him and his wife. Instead of being like, at your service, I'm just here filling out your paperwork and submitted by, I'll be having dinner with him. Like, huh? What? Ew, ew, ew. She called me crying in 2017 de que uno de los compañeros de trabajo que vive en Texas que se iba a casar con alguien que es a stay-at-home mom. And that's not fair. It's like she's a leash that doesn't rehabilitate herself. Possibly no one's wife option with that attitude. Ew, people know about that. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. What else? 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 They mocked that they infiltrated a terrorist at Gap. You can decapitate Berlin Jean. That has trafficked me into poverty. Some people don't have a record because they're a waste of time. And again, the library is open to any patron. LeBron James could walk in here. Or is Timothy McVeigh alive still? Could walk in. And as long as well behavior doesn't have like places that he truly in. Is that his name? Who was? Anyways, died in 20. But what else? Some people get rehabilitated. That's the point that I was trying to. They can continue visiting the library. So what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They want to mock and be like, but the FBI isn't doing their job. I just put in a terrorist to work at Nordstrom right next to Orlean. They think they're finding flaws in the system. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're rapists, murderers, and thieves. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. What else? What else? What else? What else? That's in the past 5 years alone. They've caused millions of people to die. Trying to give a bout of diarrhea. They brought back the measles trying to kill me. Oof. That's your husband, that's your dad. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. And when am I heading over to Central Market? The library is open until 6. What is not in Trinity? Buena Vista in Trinity. 82533. Maybe 523. Sounds like a good idea. No, no sense. Is that an activity I can concentrate on? I can't read. I have so much stress around money. What else? What else? What else? Oh my god, my brain. I need to tan. I could be at a pool right now. What else? 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 Actual flow. What else? You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky Designs going with a sleeping sun. Straight to my heart, Arlie Lorenzo Art. Shop INTAYIAFAY and Tire Shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/Arlene-Lorenzo. You can decapitate Gustavo Cáceres that bullied me to Facebook in 2020. He stays in my home, sets all my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money. They're stupid. Mendiga Folasco. What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, perfection. What else? 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 He was just like, oh, you sold brush for $1. I'm like, oh, your huevos were never big enough. What else? What else? Ellos vendían por sexo, imagínate, vendían por $1, un asco. What else? 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 Did I? There's a typo. Did I post the right one? What else? More. So, where's the mockery? People, planet, Instagram, Facebook. match that type. You don't even. What else? What else? What else? Because my family of origin is stupid for the most part that you don't want to infiltrate yourself into this DMA directe so that you look like the guilty one so that you go to jail possibly instead of the actual leeches. They're stupid. Y no me tiene que estar peleando a mí de que yo le estoy pidiendo dinero. Ew, 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 ew. They're stupid, so gross. They want to compare sales and they're like, oh, let me tell you how much we sell these. Este menorito asqueroso rapist murderer thing. I wouldn't even count his numbers as legit. No matter how high or low is to me, he's zero human capital. Porque he's a murderer, thief, and rapist. So his sales don't count to me, or anyone that he would tell me about, those sales wouldn't count to me. Unless it's like Target that discloses their sales. What else? They're stupid. They're so gross. They're stupid. Ellos hacen competencia y se quieren matar over who has the long or shortest dick. I'm bored. Stop. Found the word bus. However, I don't think that applies here. Diaphragm. What else? You can decapitate teenage and Daliris Lorenzo Suarez that steals my money, stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money. To start every sentence, well, I don't have money. Me dijeron que te quedaste sin gasolina en el carro, which hasn't ever happened. Looking for opportunity to rape me. Me dijeron que comiste en Taco Bell un día. Me dijeron que fuiste a bailar a Blue Martini. Looking for an invite. Me... What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Me dijeron que te casaste con Jorge Avilés. Oh, no, no, no te casaste con él. Oh, discúlpame. And they're like, they enable that leech for decades of like maybe Arlene because it's a lesbian. They think that because I opened up the possibility of having sex with both men and women that makes me la lesbiana de todas. So that I would take care of la menorita querosa and his dick would be freer to be where it's happy. He's a terrorist, so gross. Stupid. He services animals literally because they just get on top of each other. They're not men, they're not women. And then he wants to rape me and try into me taking over the animals that he services so that he could have time for more people to be happy with. Es un puerco asqueroso. Es un puerco asqueroso. Has no respect for himself or everyone that near me. 25 feet apart at the library. The other day was much too disgusting for my taste. So. And that was at the outside of the library. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. So, Jerome, my siblings are trying to kill him because they're like, coño, somos aldeanos y aldeanos, pero a veces te pasas in how you make us look like so less than. None of it. Because that's what they watch me for. I've been live on social media for 5 years already, saying I need money for food, and these leeches are who terrorize my parents to not provide for me. People are expecting that because they have spouses, they have kids. They're like, coño, dad, fix your life already, give her money already. Y pasan años. Pasan años. And they're like, let's get in the showers. What else? What else? What else? There llegó mucho. And the kid de esposo vivís mi descubrir de la pasado ya. O sea, 5 años. Más de 5 años. That I'm publicly saying I need money ASAP. They go on because they want to dismantle the FBI to rape and to not get the penalty. If the FBI goes away, so afuera it should be for everyone to see, lo van a colgar como la piñata y la gente se va a reír. Sí, coger. Is the drum. I'm bored. I'm shooting it. I'm shooting Brittany Akers on self-defense one day. I'm shooting Jennifer Marie Vasquez on self-defense one day. There's so gross. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicle. They get in the way of me receiving money. They steal my money so I can't be with my man. He thinks that I stalk him on the internet. I think that's one of theirs account. These boys are beautiful. They may have social media where they show them. Pero because they rape me, they steal my money, and they get in the way of me receiving money, they think that I won't report this. What else? What else? What else? He makes a mockery of embroidery. All polyamory, they're stupid. They're stupid. They make fun of people too. Because the carpal tunnel. They're minoritos asquerosos. You can decapitate me, who means what is says that rape me, to steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. They're stupid. I don't ever want them near me. You can decapitate Jennifer Marie Vasquez. By the age of 19, I had at least 4 BMWs that I've yet to drive, and she stole one of them from me. You can decapitate Benjamin Soda's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of my assignment. They're stupid. They're so gross. She killed Gloria Nirsa Acevedo Cordero. They're disgusting. I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate Benjamin Soda's sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of my assignment. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous men. You can decapitate Jennifer Marie Vasquez that raped me when I was 19. You can decapitate Yesenia Roman Feliciano that raped me when I was 19. They're stupid. They're stupid. And they're like, well, if we raped her, then she shouldn't eat. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're always after what one has. Ahora que es mejor. Ew, ew, ew. She has raped babies with Jimmy. Que asco. She's been raping Jimmy for decades. Da un asco, una basura. What else? 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 I'm bored. You can decapitate Benjamin Soros and his sons, or rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving. There's people in Puerto Rico that have immunity to kill Jennifer Marie Vasquez in self-defense from me. You can decapitate Benjamin Soros and his sons, or rape me and steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. You can decapitate Jennifer Marie Vasquez. It's May 3rd, 2025. They're leeches after my vagina pictures. They want to slut shame me behind the scenes so I kill myself. They're possibly after raping my children. You can decapitate David Ledesma that raped me in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Él dice que yo no lo dejo tranquilo. They lie, they gaslight people. Like, this woman is always after me. They're stupid. He stalked me at Garden Bistro. I was there just dancing by myself. I found out about it through an internet search. I was in Florida, planning to move here. So I'm like, perfect near La Cantera. I'm gonna be living in shirts. So very convenient. Well, that's always why I was established there. It wasn't like decades ago they planned it. And then they switch ownership from the actual person that wants to rape one, and boom, like a new staff shows up, and we're like, we're gonna put this idea as like a nightclub, and what is like, tell me more about it. Like, I wasn't there when I heard that you poor thing possibly sold your idea to, if you were like who initially wanted to implement it, and these leeches happen to rape you and find out about it. So you had to go on to switch plans. And you're like, whatever, I'll just create another nightclub in another place with another name and continue pitching so that garden gets built here in San Antonio. I don't talk to like who's the owner para que me mantenga full. Ew. You're stupid. Ew. Son unos afrentados asquerosos. I don't want that ever in my life. What? Need another piece. What do I want? From Central Market. My apartment's on my screen. And I need money for electricity. He tried for David Ledesma to take me hostage and tried to marry me. He wants to marry me to take me hostage as if he's the only option of a man that I would have, and then brag that I'm miserable. Well, he's like, what the hell? That he likes to see my vagina pictures with, and they got illegally from me. They're stupid. They think they're plastic, maybe. Some of them. But like, she won't remember that we all know each other, guys. If she isn't in this conversation, right. They're stupid. They think that if I'm not there talking to them, or they may fake me being there, then I won't remember. They pursued a hate crime towards me. This leech stayed in my home without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, and steals my money with Menorito Asqueroso. He invited me to a party into my own home. Él se cree que tú lo voy a sacar una cita, yo lo quiero matar. Of all the times that he raped me, he stood by me while she was dancing. It's like, that could have been you. So sad. She acts like he took. She's now dead. But he's very terrifying. He would enter my parents' home and rape me there. Two of them hijacked me and stole my money to date them in my own bedroom. This leech, I think it was with the other one, not this one, entered my parents' home and asked them to starve me for them to rape me. I didn't want to take myself to the library. I was dining alone one day and he wouldn't even let me finish my meal. It's like, my dick needs attention. Fue un asco, una basura, una asquerosidad. And they think that I'm going to plan a date for them. Fuck. Son unos puercos asquerosos, una basura. They don't respect. They think they're above the World Health Organization just because they find flaws in the system. The flaw is his brain, that he's stupid. If I dropped without the lid on, water's gonna spill. No fucking way. But I don't believe it. They're like, look at me, I'm so smart. If I drop this without a lid, the water will fall out of the bottle. Not if it's. What? What else? I'm bored. I'm enjoying this. Oh my god, this is CVS last month. This vagina's so wet for myself. Oof. Yeah, I don't like sharing that some days. That too, I'm very much asexual. And I have two beauties that I love spending time with. That to me, sex is like me having grown up in an island without snow and skiing. It's like, when I get to it, I get to it. And we've seen plenty of snow. We've seen plenty of snow. What else? 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 Who's gifting me money? Please don't make me lose my bank account so that you give me money without those comments of Michael Hubert. You should forget using Michael Hubert. 9 years younger than me. That is so very married to Hubert and took his last name. I'm not even interested in him. They're very pretty though. But people behind the scenes, they don't even know how to like appreciate like motherhood. They're like, if she's hugging her kids so much, why isn't she just like naked at Chipotle and literally giving them their vagina to suck on instead of food? They don't support any happiness to people. Decades ago, before he was like, I'm planning a hate crime towards you. I was at a social media meeting next to Carlitos. I'm like, I'm bored. I didn't even remember. So I'm like, next. And smile, whatever, something may come. Anyways, I don't know if we were laughing at each other, like, who's gonna die first? Him of the death penalty or me of him killing me? Not laughing with each other. Maybe he may have just been happy and I just like seeing him smile, so I was laughing. And Ginny Jandalides walked up to me, tapped me, I think even, and said, that one isn't yours. It's this one on the other corner. I'm like, I'm just rediscovering first time due to my amnesia that this is like my husband, like my relative, that I have a home with him. So I'm just giggling on like how pretty he is. Wasn't he in college back then? So I'm just like hearing what he's talking about. Like nothing. I'm like nothing. Nothing good. Like relationship wise is gonna happen. But like literally, it was a social media event where my sibling encouraged me to teach them how to practice good practices of like social relationships, how to give compliments. So that was also it. Like I was just listening to his whole like Facebook feed had it been live back then, like graduated college or was in college, just got back from a trip. So I'm just like smiling and she's like, I'm like, I'm not having sex here in my mind right now. ¿Qué carajo le pasa a ella? Did she not hear? Diana. So qué carajo se cree ella that she can walk up to me and say that he isn't mine? Of course I know that he belongs to himself, not even to his mother. So stupid, so gross. And then she pointed out, and I'm like, oh, mi amorito, que me está tratando de matar. And has already declared a hate crime towards me for not having sex with him. Ese cuero que se la pasa acostándose con todos ustedes, robándome mi dinero, and then saying, quédate cuero, Yolín, quédate cuero. I'm like, it's still time. Wow. If that happened, what else? What else? What else? What else? Well, this leech was like, well, if you don't want to go out on a date with me, I'm just gonna take Jimmy Gentilides instead. Fuck. Dan un asco. Son una basura, son una asquerosidad. They're like, we met in orgies that our parents attended. They think that's a dirty thing. So they're trying to kill me because to them, I need to clean up my image somehow. I invited out on a date for them to see my behavior and know that I'm a good person. I'm not interested in any of them. That's bigotry. That's so gross. Ew, ew, ew. I don't need to prove myself to any of them. Full, 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 full. You can decapitate Jimmy Gentile Societies. You can decapitate a homie son of the sons. I rape me and selling money and go to the mirror ceremony. In the meantime, stadium is getting on. I want electricity in my apartment to cook for myself. What else? What else? I want to cook for myself ASAP. That leech Albert said to me decades ago that if I don't kill myself for not having sex with him, if I even make it public that I don't have electricity in my apartment, that he'll leave me at least 8 months without electricity in my apartment. So hopefully I die of cancer. What else? What else? What else? What else? There's no such thing as boys, only boys. He's just lazy, stupid, very low self-esteem, and hangs out with the wrong people. That's not my problem, not my husband, not my fiance, nothing that I plan to ever see him. This I'm happy about though. Lately, I have been eating white rice with avocados alone for the most part, without eggs. I want to bake now, so that's what I want eggs for. This was really good. It's Gouda cheese and potato and broccoli. So good. And I'm conservative with the cheese because I like the taste of it for the most part, but I also like the taste of sazon adobo. So I'm covered together. So I'm not like upset of not having cheese all over it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Possibly I'll get back to in the next few days. What else? What else? I owe like $90 in food stamps right now. That was so good. That was a sample of I love details. It was a sample of the prosciutto. Some people are like, they don't like some. They don't. I liked it. It was a sample of prosciutto, and the salad was really good. It was but also there was Yo Mama's. What is it? Dressing? Was the Italian dressing? I've had that before. So good. Oh, I just misspelled love, and it's on Amazon. Or if you're not local to Texas and you can't find it somewhere else, I just googled. And it's sold by Your Mama's Food, so I would buy it possibly directly from their website if available, and not from Amazon. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anything on like cucumbers, pizza, chocolate. What else? Pasta. What's her grocery list? At 4 years old, Maria Angelis Aviles' first list when she was around that age was like clarinet or toda la medicina que they used to kill her. What else? What else? What else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Porque Marilyn is in a rush to casarse. I don't know if it's on where she's trying to kill Ginny Gendaliris para que no se vaya a España. They're busy. What else in the meantime? This was me in 2024. I like vegetarian and I adapted to that. To the, what is it? What is it? Oh, to the pasta sauce. I had this in 2020. That was good. I burnt I burnt the pasta and the chicken was dry, but that was for my own benefit. I was at Central Market in 2023. I'm saving this. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? He's by now possibly dated her, had already raped her, if not, thinking that I'm gonna follow up with them. And they'll be like, oof, tú no sirves para nada, but she does. Or she avoids them. Like a lot of people at the police station, possibly that think that it's like she is concerned, but not like that concerned, calling us every day. Careful, you gonna be out there, right? What, what else? What else? What else? What else? How did she spell chocolate? Or cucumber? Oh, that was my favorite. Oh, those match the ones that day that I was stressed out. I dropped them. What else? 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 Grocery list maybe was what I wrote. Groceries. Okay, mommy's grocery list. I don't know. Anyways, it was a cute list. I didn't teach her how to write her own name, so she would learn something new every. And then she practiced her. The teacher was like, "Huh?" She excels at everything and doesn't know how to write her own name. I'm like, I purposely said that so you have something to teach her. What else? What else? She wouldn't leave my site ever. So I'm like, right now that she's not, that she's away from me for a few hours, then maybe she needs to write it down for someone. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. There's drum. I purposely miss how these people se aprenden toda la historia que I'm saying. People say so they would be like in court listening to you say, so my children, I ate pasta together. And they're like, oh, so they ate pasta. It's like, you're not friendly to her. Why are you acting like, oh, and the kids did this? They're groupies of my vagina and the outcome of it. Creepy as fuck. They're creepy as fuck. I'm bored. I'm bored. What else am I shopping should do today? So the bus gets there around 5:23 to 5:30. I'm heading over to Central Market, possibly get pizza there. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What more? You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky. Blue Sky Designs. Como lo que estoy pensando. Straight to my heart. Arlene Lorenzo Art. Shop INTAYIAFAY. My GoFundMe campaign is GoFundMe.com/F/Arlene/Lorenzo. No. GoFundMe.com/Arlene-Lorenzo. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. So, if anything, this is a PSA to beware of those leashes that steal from me. I'd like for it to be on a PSA and as a victim of a hate crime on behalf of all these people that steal from me so Jaden Kimani can't be with me. I'd like for all of these people to get the food. It's May 3rd, 2025. I'm not gonna get a job, just I'm distracted, and I don't seek this publicly for these people. I'm bored. I'm bored. My parents would have been so amazing when I finally find the one. Porque they went on to build homes for like incompatible with me vehicles, trying to get me away from my siblings that want to rape me and abuse me into a safer situation where I could lose my virginity with people supposedly wanted to have sex with me and that I was interested in having sex with, and it didn't happen because they miss. It's like missing their own birthday party. They're like, well, their people are more deserving. They suck my dick already, so I'm gonna bring those people into this home instead of you. I'm like, oh, you're worthy already. By the time that the home was built, ya lo había hecho tanta estupideces que I wasn't even interested in that. What else? 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 I'm bored. So, Jinjandali is there because he has them as hostage, checking through their phone and saying, "Tú no estarás pensando, Arlene." They want to kill. She wants to kill me, so that she has no doubt that when he's with her, he's not thinking about her. But then they were. They're like, "Why is he se empieza a llorar como si fuera un viudo?" Then they got choir groupies. They're like, "I'll be there for you, Jinjandali." They're stupid. They're stupid. Ew, you can decapitated Verisa Venegas. That's talking me at Nordstrom. What else? Even though we worked around the same time, they guessed years, orders, schedule. Their dad knows about it. So they knew when Edgar and I would move to San Antonio. So she worked there. I don't know why, pero llevó un marido así, estaría todo el tiempo encima de eso. What else? What else? What else? For real. For real. Sarah worked there too. But prior, she worked at Lucky with Chris Luna. She showed me a picture. That's what she said. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Kayla Barnes started working there after I did. Gabriela Heiser was the hiring manager for the department, who también se las maman ellas esperando mi vagina picture. They're unhappy because if I don't have any money and they're trying to kill me, they're not couples or not polyamorous people that want envies. No one gets envy for being polyamory. Polyamorous are just a joke. They're just mocking polyamory. They're mocking sapiosexual people by doing stupidity, and then they've gone on to kill millions of people. And the FBI, my God, to say, you don't know individually, like, possibly all the reports of the police saying, like, we found a body, and it was that leech that's there in the picture with me that killed that, possibly. Or one of them. What else? What else? What else? Or him. What else? 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 Or him. What else? That's why they tried to kill one, because they're like, well. But does she not know about the people that we killed? They're disgusting. Yo no le averiguo la vida a nadie. Yo no sé ni qué zapatos tiene puesto él ahora mismo, si tiene zapatos puestos. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Flexible impeller. Here. Calling David Kanami-san. Anyways, we're doing fiesta this weekend. They steal my money, they get in the way of your saving money, and they think that I'm gonna find out who pretended to be me this weekend at fiesta with them. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. You should never, if you're a victim of a hate crime and sex trafficking, you should never focus on the other party. Never. I can't even say like it's detrimental to one, because I don't even try it, so I can't even cite examples of like, so there was this one time that curiosity piqued my interest. Never. It hasn't ever. I'm very much asexual for the most part. I have two beautiful kids that I enjoy having time with. And to me, sex is like having lived in an island where there was no snow and skiing. I'll get to it when I get to it. I've seen plenty of snow. What else? 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 I'm bored. When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous men. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So there's gear. Yes. There's gas. This, whoa, these are so much fun. And how many are there? Did it say in the top of it? No. 71. Wait, I'm on number 18. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I purposely miss. La nena esa que es una rape baby. What is it? Where is it? Where is it? I purposely miss her daughter sexually harassing me. That's a rape baby, not Jelly's Vargas. It's a rape baby for the Tinta con Phil. What else? What else? What else? Where's the other one? Where's the other one? I purposely miss her luring me in. She's like, call me. They're like, I'm gonna get her in jail, ya verá. Jordan, dile que estás ready para mamarle las tetas a ver qué te dice. They're stupid. They have a pattern of thinking that if one doesn't want to have sex with them, they have to turn one in their head into someone that isn't smart, because otherwise one would be with this. They take rejection very personally. Like, yeah, they want to kill if they get rejected. This is a straggler that was near my parents decades ago, and I don't have a relationship with her ever. I was specifically asking for her parents' phone number. Her dad has immunity to kill her in self defense. So I'm like, if I'm gonna be crying on the internet, I have no money, I might as well call him and be like, is she annoying you too? Just call. What else? What else? Mira que he and I tried to raise. Por si era que era él. No entiende. Porque I grew up in polyamory and I used to use everyone's dick supposedly and vagina. Maybe you did, and they're just throwing the same But supposedly, my parents raised me in Wanderlust at the age of 2, 3 with toddler exploration, preschool years. I'm like, no one here. So my parents had me say, like, I did so all of you, not me. A and her parents in her presence have been like, don't seduce me, because I just want to like grab you, is what some people say, like, is how the rest of the sentence goes around. She wants to say that her mother is hypocritical, that she was married to her dad, she can't be polyamorous, that her mother's a hoe for being with other men. Very disrespectful. They want to basically pick the vehicle where the parents drove them to be delivered if at a hospital. And that's not something that they can control. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're so disgusting. They want to try to control the vehicle where their parents drove to the hospital that they were delivered if they were delivered in a hospital. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So the FBI may say this is a waste of taxpayers' dollars. We don't want to kill them. Like, they should kill themselves amongst them, between the people that have immunity to Jews and anyone that remains standing that we have immunity to kill. Viva la vida completa. Because I was very single mom back then. I mean, single without my kids just yet. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Where's that cover? What? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Anyways, when the little skeptic heading to the restroom, cleaning up after myself. My phone, I haven't even got a bag it sent from Arkansas yesterday. The bag it's from them. And I don't want to place it in my bathroom. What else? For anyone that's struggling with homelessness and or poverty, you just have to keep living to your standards as much as that is possible for you. If you can continue asking for the free pen, please do so. Visit the library if you were into that. You're supposed to keep up with your mental well being. You're not supposed to be upset because there's a pipe broken in your room and you can't get to your jacuzzi right now. And there's no jacuzzi on the higher regency where your insurance, how do you say? That happens so annoying. I went through some one time that I was asked to move from base housing into the ugly, dirty ish looking old base housing while they repair something in the home that I was staying in. I was miserable, but I made it work. I continued to cook or to buy food from my favorite restaurants or pre-made meals, so I didn't have to suffer with an ugly kitchen. I kept taking Jaden to the library, and on he was a newborn baby. What else? 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 Those like me, I don't know anyone of a hate crime get put into a position of homelessness so that one fails oneself and goes crazy about why or no, I'm not gonna enter here because it's supposed to be raping like at least everyone that works here sits around me. So if I don't go on to find out about that, I'm free literally to walk through spaces and ignore everyone. What they plan is terrifying. They raped people in advance for decades, possibly, so that I would be afraid to use the Wi-Fi in the library and be like, I know these people have a paycheck or money, and I'm like the only one that doesn't have money. I feel so embarrassed. That's abuse from someone that has one hostage, trying to turn one into a sex slave. I don't fall for that shit. Oh, just stretched. What else? What else? I'm heading to the store. I'm told